Most men assume that compliments are merely a form of flattery, a casual way to make a woman feel good about herself. They throw around words like pretty or smart, expecting a meaningful reaction, only to be met with indifference. But here's the reality. Generic praise, no matter how well-intentioned, often falls flat. It feels impersonal, like small talk, because it doesn't reach beyond the surface. And if there's one thing Stoicism teaches us, it's that true connection is built on depth, not empty words. A woman doesn't want to hear what anyone could say. She wants to feel truly seen. That's why today, we're diving into 6 powerful, uncommon compliments that go beyond the superficial. These phrases don't just flatter. They communicate something far greater. They show that you are a man who observes, who understands, and who values more than just appearances. These aren't pickup lines. They're tools for authentic connection. By the end of this video, you'll not only have a new perspective on compliments, but you'll also understand how to use them to create genuine, lasting impact. Number 1. The mind compliment. Most men default to surface-level observations. Her smile, her outfit, her laugh, because they're easy. But here's the truth. Women are bombarded with generic praise about their appearance daily, and it blends into noise. What actually resonates? Recognizing her intellect. When you say, "I've never met someone who thinks the way you do." When you talked about specific idea, "It changed how I see things." You're doing 3 powerful things. First, you're shifting the focus from passive admiration to active engagement. Instead of reducing her to a static image, pretty, you're highlighting her dynamic mind, which evolves, debates, and creates. Second, you're grounding your compliment in specificity, which proves you're not recycling lines. You're genuinely listening. By referencing a conversation she initiated, you validate that her ideas aren't just heard but internalized, altering your perspective. This creates intimacy because it transforms the exchange from flattery into a shared intellectual moment, a subtle acknowledgement that her thoughts have weight in your world. Finally, you're subtly positioning yourself as a man who values depth over distraction. In Stoic philosophy, observation is the root of wisdom. By noticing how she thinks, not just what she says, you embody the discipline of focused attention. Women crave this because it mirrors their own complexity. They're not just bodies to admire, but minds to engage. The result? She feels seen at a soul level, which ignites respect, curiosity, and a magnetic pull toward the one person who doesn't skim the surface, but dives deep. Number 2. The strength compliment. Most men fixate on a woman's looks because they're obvious: her smile, her curves, her style. But here's the problem. Complimenting her body is low-hanging fruit. It doesn't tell her anything new, and worse, it reduces her to something temporary. Physical beauty fades, but strength, whether emotional grit, mental toughness, or quiet perseverance, is timeless. When you say, "Watching you handle specific challenge made me realize," you're the kind of person who thrives in storms. You're doing something radical. Instead of praising her surface, you're celebrating her core character. Here's why this works. The phrase "thrive in storms" isn't just a compliment. It's a metaphor that paints her as a force of nature. You're not calling her strong, a bland, overused word. You're framing her strength as unshakable and heroic. By tying your praise to a real example, like how she navigated a work crisis, stood up for a friend, or rebuilt her life after a setback, you prove you've paid attention to her journey, not just her appearance. This taps into a primal truth. Women want to be admired for what they've overcome, not just how they look. It also positions you as a man who values depth. Stoicism teaches that true strength lies in enduring hardship with grace, and by highlighting her resilience, you align yourself with that philosophy. You're not just flattering her. You're saying, I see the battles you fought, and I respect the warrior in you. That kind of recognition doesn't just flatter her ego. It validates her struggles and makes her feel deeply understood. And when a woman feels understood, that's when walls come down and real connection begins. Number 3, the impact compliment. Most people focus on what a woman does, her achievements, her looks, her words. But the real magic lies in how she shapes the energy around her. Think about it. Women often act as emotional anchors in relationships, workplaces, and friendships, yet their quiet influence goes unnoticed. When you say, "You have this quiet way of making everything better," the room calms down when you walk in. You're doing something rare. You're not just praising her as a person, you're acknowledging her effect on the world. This works because it taps into a deep truth. Women want to feel like their presence matters, not just their appearance or accomplishments. By highlighting how she naturally shifts the atmosphere, calming chaos, brightening moods, or inspiring confidence, you're showing her you see the ripple effect of her existence. It's not about flattery, it's about awareness. You're proving you notice the intangible qualities others miss. Her grace under pressure, her ability to soothe tension, or the way she inspires trust without saying a word. This kind of compliment resonates because it's rooted in observation, not exaggeration. It tells her, I see the power you hold simply by being yourself, and that's how you move beyond superficial attraction and build a connection that feels truly meaningful. Number 4, the effort compliment. Most people only notice success, the finished project, the big achievement, the shiny result. But what about the hours, the sweat, the late nights she put in to get there? That's the problem. Praise for outcomes is common. Praise for effort? Rare. Women are used to being celebrated for what they accomplish, but rarely for how much they care. That's why saying, I don't know if anyone's told you this, but I can see how much you care about her project/passion. It's rare. Hits differently. You're not just clapping for the trophy. You're acknowledging the grind behind it. You're telling her, I see you trying, even when no one's watching. This works because effort is personal. It's where her heart, grit, and vulnerability live. By noticing it, you're not flattering her ego. You're honoring her journey, not just the destination. And when someone finally sees that part of her, it doesn't just feel good. It feels like being understood. That's how you build trust, respect, and a bond that shallow compliments can't touch. Number 5, the taste compliment. Most people notice what someone likes, but rarely how they like it. That's where most men go wrong. They'll say, cool shoes, and move on. But here's the secret. Her taste in music, clothes, hobbies, even how she laughs at bad jokes, is her fingerprint. It's the way she expresses who she is, even if it's quirky or unconventional. When you say, you have this unapologetic way of loving things, like how you defend that weird 80s band nobody gets, or wear patterns that shouldn't work, but totally do, you're doing something rare. You're not just praising her stuff. You're praising her courage to own what she loves, even if it's not cool. This works because it goes deeper than surface-level approval. By highlighting specific, maybe even weird choices, you're telling her, I see the real you, not the version you think the world wants. It's not about flattery, it's about respect for her identity. Women often mask their true tastes to fit in. So when you celebrate what makes her different, you're giving her permission to be fully herself around you. That's magnetic. Not just because it feels good, but because it shows you're the kind of person who pays attention to what matters. Her soul, not the crowd. Number 6, the silent compliment. Most people rely on words to express admiration, but here's the secret. Silence can be your most powerful tool. When you pause, lock eyes with her, and shake your head with a subtle smirk, like you're quietly amazed by her presence. you're doing something far deeper than flattery. This works because words can feel rehearsed, but silence is raw and honest. By holding eye contact, you're showing confidence and calmness, key Stoic traits, and that quiet moment creates tension, a magnetic pull that makes her wonder, what's he thinking? The slow head shake signals disbelief, as if you're thinking, you're too incredible to put into words. It's not about playing games. It's about letting your respect and attraction show through your presence, not just your vocabulary. This approach works because it's vulnerable yet controlled, proving you're secure enough to let the moment breathe without filling it with empty chatter. Women often remember these silent exchanges longer than verbal praise because they feel unscripted and deeply personal. It's a compliment that says, "You've stunned me into silence," without you ever uttering a word. And that's how you turn a simple glance into a moment she'll replay in her mind for days. Conclusion. Here's the biggest lesson. Compliments are like mirrors. They show her what you truly value. When you give shallow praise, you're hot. It feels empty because it only reflects your surface-level focus. But when you use thoughtful, Stoic-style compliments, you reveal a deeper mindset. You're a man who pays attention and cares about who she really is. Cheap praise screams insecurity. I need you to like me. Stoic praise whispers confidence. I see you, and I respect what I see. So, if you're tired of shallow connections, hit like to commit to deeper conversations. Subscribe for tips that help you grow stronger mentally and emotionally. And comment below, which of these compliments will you try first? And if you're ready to stop relying on lines and start building real confidence, grab my free guide below. It's not about shortcuts. It's about becoming a man who's so grounded in his own worth, he doesn't need tricks to connect. Because true strength isn't about impressing her. It's about being the kind of man she'll never forget.